Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're opening up some source material on a topic that, well, it feels pretty challenging right now. This whole idea of authority and submission. It just seems, countercultural when we celebrate independence, questioning power.
Oh, absolutely. And our sources, these devotional notes looking at Romans 13, they really force us to grapple with that. Our mission really is to figure out why they link submitting to the government directly with God's sovereignty.
Right. Why is it presented as non-negotiable in these texts?
Exactly. What's the argument there?
Which brings us to that central question, I think. Is the submission just, blind obedience, do what you're told, no questions asked? Or is there something deeper going on? A principle, maybe. Okay, so let's just dive in. Verse 1. It's pretty blunt.
It really is. Let every person be subject to the governing authorities. No ambiguity there.
None at all. And the reason given.
Well, this is the absolute core of it, according to the notes. For there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. That's the foundation.
Instituted by God.
Yeah. So the argument follows. If you resist the authority structure, you're essentially resisting what God himself has appointed.
And that leads to judgment, the text warns.
Right. It says those who resist will incur judgment.
Okay, but hang on. Does that mean even really bad rulers, unjust systems, are the sources saying they are divinely appointed too? That feels tough.
That's a really common question, and it's tricky. The sources seem to focus less on the person in charge, their morality, and more on the office itself, the structure.
The position of authority.
Exactly. The idea presented is that God uses these established human structures, even flawed ones, as his mechanism for maintaining some kind of order in a, sinful world.
So even amidst all the bad stuff, the function of government still operates under God's sovereignty. Is that the idea?
That seems to be the interpretation in these notes, yeah. Resisting the principal authority is framed as resisting God's design for order itself.
Okay, that leads to the next point then. What is the authority's role supposed to be, according to these sources, if it's God ordained?
The text is specific. It calls the authority God's servant for your good. That's the job description, essentially.
For your good.
Right. And it's meant to be a terror not to good conduct, but to bad. So punishing wrongdoing, encouraging stability. That's the ideal function.
And the language gets even stronger, doesn't it? It calls the ruler an avenger who carries out God's wrath on the wrongdoer.
And a minister of God.
Wow. Avenger, minister, that paints their role as deeply tied to divine order, like they're agents of cosmic justice almost.
It's intense language, for sure. And that intensity, the notes suggest, is why submission is called for. It's framed not as loyalty to the person who might be flawed.
Yeah, definitely flawed sometimes.
Right. But as an act of trust in God's bigger picture, his overall order. And interestingly, it says subjection is necessary, not just to avoid punishment, but also for the sake of conscience.
Ah, okay. So it's internal. It's about your own integrity, your own conscience before God, not just avoiding a speeding ticket or jail time.
Precisely. It's recognizing the legitimacy of the office, the structure, as part of God's design, even if you strongly disagree with the person holding it or their policies.
So how does this translate into, everyday life for people reading this? What are the practicals?
Well, the text gets very practical. Obeying laws.
And the big one.
Yep. Paying taxes.
Always popular.
Never. But the source summarizes it clearly in verse 7. It says, pay to all what is owed to them.
Okay.
Taxes to whom taxes are owed. Revenue to whom revenue is owed. But then it adds more.
What else?
Respect to whom respect is owed. Honor to whom honor is owed. So it goes beyond just the financial obligation.
It includes owing respect, owing honor, even if you disagree.
That seems to be the point, yes.
Yeah.
Even when you disagree, which the reflection notes acknowledge will happen constantly.
Of course.
The suggested response is respect and humility, not hostility. The idea is to honor the structure, God's design for order, even while you might challenge specific actions within that structure.
So the honor is for the office, the principle, even if the person feels, less than honorable.
That's the tension the source is present, yeah.
Okay, so boiling it down, the core message from these sources seems to be that respecting authority is fundamentally about faith. Faith in God's control, his design, his order for the world.
That's a good summary. It connects earthly structure to divine sovereignty.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener. If authority, as these sources claim, exists under a higher divine sovereignty, how does that change how you think about respect versus disagreement?
Yeah. How do you navigate that? Showing respect for the position while maybe strongly opposing the policies.
And maybe practically, what's one way this week you could show respect to an authority, maybe a boss, a local official, an institution that you find difficult? Honoring the design, even when it's hard, something to think about.